Pride of Hoogaran. This is Captain Soban of the fleet, Farron Shah. Looks like you could use a hand. Attention all Sobani, pick your targets and engage.
Hello everyone, this is Captain Soban and welcome aboard the Starship and No More Prize for another episode of Homeworld Simplex Ship Showcase Series, where we are showing off all of the ships in the Homeworld Simplex universe. And today we're taking a look at the large capital ships that we can build on the Hoogaran side. Before we really start going, if you look over here to the right, you will notice that this is Karak. I'm playing on a map that that's actually really interesting. Basically, it's a 4-player map where you have 3 players over here in the orbit of Hoogaran fighting off a invasion of another player over here. It's really interesting. So we have like the star of Hoogaran over there, or not Hoogaran, of Kashyyyk. Not Kashyyyk, Karak. The system of Karak. I don't know why I said Hoogaran for like all those for all that entire bit. But yeah, this is a mission, or this is a map where it's a 3 versus 1 where you're defending Karak from an invasion. Pretty interesting. But anyways, let's actually get into this video. So today we are going to be looking at all of the capital ships you can build from your mothership. So this would be all the destroyers, cruisers, and I believe there's an interesting one in this one called the mini vortex, like a small version of the actual vortex. So yeah, we're going to take a look at all those. And then the next one we'll be looking at the battle cruisers and ultra capital ships, if there are any of those that you can actually build in this mod for the Hoogarans. I don't know if there is, but we'll check it out. Anyways, without further ado, let's start off with the basic destroyer. The standard destroyer from Homeworld 2 that is also in Complex.
Mothership.
So let's take a look at it. Boo boo boo. I need to do one thing real quick so that we can actually see what's going on.
Reporting.
But anyways, and we can actually build things on our destroyers in this mod, so that's why it keeps going over to the actual destroyer when I click. Anyways, let's read about the normal destroyer. So this is a anti-frigate, anti-capital ship equipped with 4 kinetic cannon turrets and 1 anti-capital ship torpedo launcher, which is up here in front when upgraded. Now, one thing I have noticed that the turrets on these ships are, it's kind of hard to see on this side of the map. What I should do is let's go ahead and move everything up this way.
Moving to destination.
There we go. Then we should be able to see the ships a little bit better.
Subsystem
But anyways, the turrets on the ships are triple barreled instead of double barreled, so there are a lot more kinetic weapons that go off with these ships than the normal Homeworld 2. And then it also has some basic defense systems, like I believe this is a flak cannon, this is a dual pulsar laser cannon. So they do have some defenses against fighters or corvettes. Not a whole lot though, but some very basic defenses. Boop. And if we look over here on the right, you'll notice that there are certain abilities that we can give to our ships. So we can reduce attributes of the ship to make it to where the we can improve other attributes of the ship. So like for instance, I can reduce the armor of this destroyer by 15%, and in return we can increase something else. So like reduce armor for propulsion, reduce propulsion for aim. Aim, I believe, is accuracy of your guns. Reduce recovery time, or like your repair rate of your ship for something else. So you can actually customize your ships the way you want to, which is really cool. Security. Anti-boarding strain. Oh, so this you can reduce the amount of time that it would take for the ship to be taken over in return for like damage. So really cool. You can customize your ships out using that thing. And this is available for every super capital ship, if I remember. So that's cool. But let's take a look at the next one, which would be
Roger.
I believe
Mothership.
it's the Sweeper Destroyer. Yeah. Oh, and the requirements for the destroyer, I forgot to go through all that because I got distracted by the lighting and stuff. So it's type capital ship, cost 2,000 RUs, build time 165 seconds. So again, capital ship, so it takes a long time to build. Maintenance 55 RUs per year, so a lot more than a frigate class ship. Strong versus frigates and capital ships when upgraded. Prerequisites: capital ship facility. It requires a research station with a research division attachment to it. So research level 1. The destroyer chassis technology researched, requires an officer and 15 crew members. Officers are usually used to manage any type of capital ships, whether it's a carrier, destroyer, battlecruiser. Anything bigger than a frigate normally requires some sort of officer. They do that so you don't have like a gigantic fleet of like destroyers. You would actually have room or crew to escort those destroyers. Just in case any of you guys are curious about that. But anyways,
Standing by.
let's actually take a look at the Sweeper Frigate.
Mothership.
Or Sweeper Destroyer. I don't know why I said Sweeper Frigate. Sweeper Destroyer. This is an anti-fighter, anti-corvette ship equipped with 4 rapid sweeper turrets and an anti-capital ship torpedo, which I believe it comes with every single one of the destroyers. So basically, this ship, or compared to the normal destroyer, the kinetic cannons have been switched out with rapid fire flat cannons. So each one of these are quad flat cannons. So we have 1, 2, 3, and then 1 down here in the bottom. So if all of these launch at once, we would have 16 flak turrets going off. So that is a lot of anti-fighter, anti-corvette defense. And then it also has the pulsar turret there, pulsar turret there, another one back here, and a little bit of anti-fighter. So this guy is just nothing but anti-strike craft. So if you need a couple of capital ships to guard you against strike craft, you'll definitely be using the Sweeper Destroyer. Also, it's one of my favorite destroyers, just because of the fact that it's the exact opposite of a normal destroyer. It can't do anything against capital ships, but it can wipe out fighters and corvettes, where a normal destroyer can wipe out frigates and other capital ships, but they're completely useless against fighters and corvettes. So I usually like to have one of these guys to protect my larger capital ships, just because of that reason. Alright, and I forgot to go through all this, but most of this is pretty much the same compared to the normal destroyer. So type is capital ship, costs 2,000, same as the normal destroyer, takes 165 seconds to construct, same time as the normal one, 55 RU in maintenance, same amount, strong versus fighters and corvettes. Prerequisites: capital ship facility, research division with science division attached to it. Research division. Sweeper Destroyer chassis technology researched, and of course an officer and 15 crew members. What's going on with my bolts? Alright. Now, next one is the torpedo, the missile destroyer.
Ready.
There's this guy right here. And as you can see, it has a lot of different turrets, which we will
Standing by.
we'll take a look at. So, missile destroyer. Anti-capital ship equipped with 3 missile turrets and a mine layer turret. Ooh, wait a minute, that's different. So it has 3 the torpedoes, and then torpedo. There's 4 torpedoes on it. I don't know why it says it has a mine layer turret. Okay. And it comes with an anti-capital ship torpedo launcher for up in front once it gets upgraded, and it comes with 3 anti-capital ship calistos, well, which is actually 4. There's 4 torpedo launchers. There's not a missile launcher or mine layer launcher on this. I guess they must have took that out because it might have made it a little bit more capital ship focused instead of corvette and frigate focused, which torpedoes are supposed to be. So this is a capital ship. It costs 2,500 RUs, so 500 more than the normal destroyers. Build time 175 seconds, so a little bit longer than the original ones. Maintenance cost 65, so more maintenance. Strong versus capital ships. And prerequisites is the capital facility and requires a research station with science division, so you have to get the research tier 2 in order to unlock it. Missile destroyer chassis technology, 1 officer and 18 crew members instead of 15. And like I said, since these are torpedo launchers,
Copy.
it does do a decent amount of damage, 27,000. Does the normal destroyer do?
Copy.
6,000.
Confirmed.
Okay, but I believe that's DPS. For the missile destroyer, I know in Complex this was more of a corvette frigate killer, since sweepers are good against fighters and destroyers are good against capital ships. But this might be a direct upgrade to the destroyer in this mod. Interesting. But I tend to use them against corvettes and frigates, since the torpedoes usually aren't powerful enough to fight capital ships, and they're too fast and can be outmaneuvered by fighters, or too slow and can be outmaneuvered by fighters. Very, very interesting. Anyways, on to the next one.
Mothership.
Boo boo boo. Down. Next we have the Ion Destroyer. Again, is one of my favorites because I love ion beams.
Roger.
God dang it.
Mothership.
I keep wanting to click on it so you guys can see the stats, but I can't read the description if I do. Anyways, read about it. The Ion Destroyer, anti-capital ship equipped with 4 ion turrets and anti-capital ship torpedoes when upgraded like all of the other destroyers. Capital ship costs 2,500 RUs, same amount as the missile destroyer. Build time 175, so same. I would think that would be a little bit more, but that's just my opinion. I'd probably boost that up to 180, just because I know ion cannons is a very advanced technology, so it makes sense to me that it would take a little bit longer to build. Maintenance cost 65, same as missiles. Strong versus capital ships. Because it's ions. Their ion beams are always good against capital ships. And capital ship facility, or capital facility required in order to build it. Research division with science division, so tier 2 on research. And ion destroyer chassis technology researched, 1 officer and 18 crew members. Baby has, I believe these are twin ions. One of these turrets are twin ion beams. You have 2, 4, 6, you have 8 ion beams hitting the enemy if they all hit at once. Now, obviously, this ship does, yeah, I think there's a calculation error with the missile destroyer. There's absolutely no way it should be doing this much damage. That should be like around 2,000.
Roger.
This should be like around 1,000. So I think that there's a calculation error with these guys.
Reporting.
But anyways, how much do you do compared to the original? A little bit less. That should be more. But again, this is damage per second. I gotta remember that. This isn't like ions do burst damage. They do a bunch of damage and then they go on cooldown, do a bunch of damage and go on cooldown. So Ion Destroyer can easily take down a large capital ship a couple times, but overall, for a long enduring battle, a just normal destroyer would do more damage. At least that's my thought behind it. But I personally would definitely use these for fighting other destroyer classes, and maybe even escorting your battleships to help them fight other battleships. This is a large capital ship killer. And probably one of my favorite destroyers, next to the missile destroyer. I don't know, just shooting giant beams or giant like particle beams at enemies and then lobbing them with a bunch of missiles is always really entertaining to me. So I've always really loved those type of ships. Anyways, the next on our list
Mothership
would be the Advanced Destroyer. Let's check him out. Looks like he's had a couple upgrades from the normal destroyer. And I think that's what this is supposed to be. It's an upgraded traditional destroyer. Let's read about it. Advanced Destroyer. Advanced anti-frigate, anti-capital ship equipped with 3x heavy ion cannon turrets. That's actually 6x, because as you can see, they have 6 turrets instead of 3. 2 heavy ion cannon turrets, which this one actually doesn't have those. I think normally in the complex version, you had 2 of the big large turrets, which I think they were right here, and then you had 2 large ion cannons right here as well. This one just has 4 6x heavy kinetic cannon turrets, and also has the anti-capital ship torpedoes when upgraded, just like all the other destroyers. So this is a capital ship. Costs 3,000 RUs, so it's more expensive than the other ones. Build time 185 seconds, so a little bit longer than the mid-tier destroyers and a lot longer than the original destroyers. Maintenance 75 RUs, strong versus frigates and capital ships, and it requires capital ship facility, your research division, and the engineering division, so you have to get to tier 3 research and unlock them. Advanced Destroyer Chassis Technology Research, 1 officer and 21 crew members. This is your heavy hitter. This is probably your most powerful heavy hitter in the destroyer classes. Again, I don't know why we have the 6x kinetic cannons instead of the heavy ion cannons. Probably because the ion cannon destroyer took that class. But this is basically just a heavily upgraded version of the normal destroyer. Because if we look at it, we have 85,000 health, 8,300 damage per second.
Roger.
And then this guy has 85,000 or 95,000 health.
Ready.
He does a little bit more DPS, but has a slightly more health.
Copy.
Yeah, normal destroyer. So, interesting. Very, very interesting. But lots of kinetic fire happens on this ship. All right, and next is the artillery
Mothership.
destroyer. Boop. Which is right here. Artillery destroyer just have really long kinetic cannons. They're also really, really big. Let's read about them. Artillery destroyer, advanced long-range anti-capital ship equipped with 4 2x anti-artillery cannon turrets and has an anti-capital ship torpedo when upgraded. Just like all the rest. Cost 3,000 RUs, build time 185 seconds, maintenance 75 RUs, strong versus capital ships, and prerequisites are the capital ship facility, research division with engineering division unlocked, so tier 3 research, artillery destroyer chassis technology researched, and 1 officer and 21 crewmen. So this guy, although it says he does 9,000, should do less damage than the heavy turret, or the heavy or the advanced destroyer. The only difference is that well, it probably does more damage per like kinetic shot because the turrets are so big, but it should have a lot slower speed and a lot longer range, like or fire speed is what I meant. So this guy can stay in the back and provide artillery support for the main fleet to help them against large capital ships. I don't think these have the tracking to really take down frigates. It probably can hit them if they're not really moving, but if they're moving and using evasive engines, they're not going to be really useful. So I would pretty much just use these against other destroyers or other battle cruisers, and and make sure that they stay away from the battle because they don't have anything other than the torpedoes to protect them from short-range combat. So pretty cool. That is all of the destroyers. Most of these are actually in complex. They've just been modified a little bit for simplex. Like for instance, the advanced destroyer had heavy ion cannons on it instead of the 6-barreled kinetic turrets. So that's been changed a little bit. And
Mothership.
yeah. We'll move on to the next ones. I don't really have much more to say. Because like I said, if you guys ever played Complex, most of the Hoogaran team is similar to the Complex ones. There's not a whole lot of difference. Next is the Moab, which used to be called the... Oh, what was it called in Complex? I don't quite remember.
Confirmed.
It was like a nuclear bomb. But every time I hear Moab, I always think of the that big stealth bomber that you can launch in Command and Conquer Generals that launches the giant bomb that makes a big explosion on the map because it's called the Moab bomb. For those of you that don't know, Moab stands for Mother of All Bombs, and it's pretty much considered the largest bomb in existence. So, the fact that Complex and Simplex made a ship that's pretty much a portable nuclear bomb that can pretty much one-shot your mothership if you get upgraded enough is pretty freaking fascinating. Also, I like how the bridge is right here. So interesting. Anyways, let's read about it. Moab, the mother of all bombs. The Moab's explosion severely damages nearby ships equipped with heavily nuclear waste. So type capital ship costs 4,000 RUs to construct, takes 300 seconds to construct, so about 5 minutes. It takes a long time to build this thing. Maintenance costs 85 RUs per year. Makes sense, you're transporting a giant nuclear bomb, so you want to make sure that it doesn't detonate in the middle of the ship. Strong versus everything, because again, nuclear bomb. Prerequisites, capital ship facility, research station with science division, so tech level 2 on your research. Moab chassis technology research, 1 officer and 10 crew members. So yeah, the ship is extremely slow, very heavily armored, and as you can see, this is how much damage it does. It does 128,000 damage, which is actually enough to one-shot any of these destroyers over here, and has a maximum detonation range of 4.5 kilograms. Not kilograms, kilometers. That's actually what I meant to say. And you can upgrade that. You can upgrade its power and upgrade its range right here as well for your research to make it even more deadly. But yeah, if anyone's ever played Complex, you've ran into these once or twice and either lost the fleet because you didn't think there was too big of a threat from it, or destroyed and saw a giant explosion. You're like, what the heck is that? That was my first reaction, because in Complex they have an alarm that goes off that says, hey, there's a Moab bomb on the way to the mothership, and you kill it and it explodes and kills your entire fleet, and you're just like, oh, okay, these things are deadly. But this, I believe, is unique to Complex and Simplex. I don't know 100%. That's when I was introduced to it. So, but they're really cool. All right, and next we have our cruisers. There's 2 different cruisers. Cruisers are a much more heavily armored and heavily armed ship than the destroyers. In my opinion, they should have their own classification. You should have destroyers, cruisers, and then battle cruisers. At least that's what I've always thought of in Complex and Simplex as well. But anyways, let's go ahead and read about this guy. So Cruiser Type A, advanced anti-frigate capital ship equipped with 3 XXX heavy kinetic cannon turrets. That's this one here, this one here, and that one there. 2 heavy ion cannon turrets, which are somewhere on the ship, I think. Oh yeah, they're on the sides. So you have one right there, one right there. Oh, speaking of that, is that actually where the advanced destroyer ones are? No, they are not. Alright, cool. Thought I just completely missed it. 1 EMP plasma cannon, which is probably this guy. Nope, that's a shock cannon. That's something different. That might be it, actually. And 15 long-range kinetic turrets, just scattered throughout it. Those are pulsars. You can see it also has a lot of fighter and corvette defenses, but this has to be the long-range cannon. Or pulsar. So many pulsars. So much defense! And 4 anti-capital ship torpedoes when upgraded. So it has an area where it can launch anti-capital ship torpedoes. Boop boo. Somewhere around here. And integrated abrasive shield. So
Ready.
it has a shield that you can activate. Oh, we have to upgrade it first. You have to get it through research. But it has a shield that it can activate to protect itself from incoming fire. So very armored, very defensive. I really do enjoy the cruisers in this mod and complex because of the fact that they're not as powerful as battle cruisers, but I think of them as more heavily armed and armored destroyers. Really, really cool. And next we have the second cruiser type. I believe the first one is more for engagements, like ship-to-ship engagements, and I believe the second one is more armored for long-range engagements.
Copy.
But let's go ahead and read about it. So, Cruiser Type B, advanced anti-capital ship equipped with 4 3x heavy kinetic cannon turrets, so same as the first one. I believe, yeah, same as the first, and 1 EMP plasma cannon, which again is at the bottom. The 15 long-range kinetic turrets, which again, I don't really see those. I just see all of the pulsar turrets. I don't really see any of the long-range kinetic turrets. I wonder if they changed that and just haven't updated the description yet. Because this mod is still in development. They have been slowly still working on it for a long time. 10 heavy mine layer launchers when upgraded. Makes it very effective against frigates. The other one has the torpedoes. And then of course it has the built-in shield. I think that's the difference. Yeah, Type A has... Oh. Okay, Type A has the heavy ion cannons, where Type B has the mine layers. So this Type A would be more effective against other cruisers and probably battle cruisers as well because of the heavy ions. And Type B would be more effective against like destroyers and frigates. Interesting. Anyways, this is a capital ship. Costs 4,000 RUs. Takes 200 seconds to build, so it takes a really long time. Maintenance costs 85 RUs per year. Strong versus frigates and capital ships. Require prerequisites as a capital ship facility, research station of engineering division, cruiser chassis technology research, requires 2 officers instead of 1, and 23 crew members. That's the same for both of them. Really, really cool. Alright, and then next, or last but not least, our final ship is the Mini Vortex. Now, in this mod and complex, you can build a full-size vortex from the shipyard. I haven't included in this one because I believe mini vortex would fall in the destroyer category. So we'll take a look at the full-size vortex in the next video. But anyways, let's read about the mini one. Mini vortex, small version of the vortex equipped with 12 plasma turrets. So all of the dual and the heavy kinetic cannons have been switched out for plasma turrets. Pretty cool, making it very effective against frigates. 2 ion cannons. So the heavy ion cannon's been switched with normal ion cannons, again making it effective against frigates and destroyers. 1 Stinger missile launcher. It has all the pulsar turrets too. This thing would wreck anything smaller than a destroyer. Costs 4,000 RUs, so as much as a cruiser. Build time is 200 seconds. Strong versus corvettes and frigates. It makes sense because of all the pulsars and plasma turrets and ions. So this, I don't think you would have the firepower to take down a destroyer. Maybe with an escort. But he would be more effective against frigates, that's for sure. He would wipe out a group of frigates, no problem. So prerequisites, capital ship facility, research station with an engineering division, so research tier 3, mini vortex chassis technology. Also requires you to be Commodore rank or have 240 honor points, 3 officers, and 10 crew members. Pretty freaking cool. I don't think you can actually dock anything to it, despite the fact... No, that's where the Stinger is located. Interesting. The Stingers are located in the hangars where the original used to be. Cool. That's funny. Anyways, guys, that's all of the capital ships that you can build out of the mothership on the Hoogaran side. Next episode, we're going to take a look at the battle cruisers, see how they compare to all of these ships. But this one right here is probably my favorite out of all of them. I really love the cruiser design. I love the fact it's just so, decked out with weapons and defensive systems. It's a really good all-around ship. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end this here. Hope you guys enjoy it. Please leave a like if you did. If you like what I do, consider subscribing. I'll check you guys out in the next video. Until then, this is Captain Soban signing out.
The Faker have arrived. Emergency hyperspace procedures initiated. The mothership must